Danger, danger, read all about it. This video topic could get me in trouble, depending on what happens between the time I record this audio and the time the video is published on YouTube. We say this all the time, but it's just precautionary, just in case this player signs a deal with whomever team that we are not talking about. I have to cover my behind, just in case, so y'all don't go in the comments and roast me. But today we are talking about Patrick Kane, current, and I say current because at the time of recording this audio, he is currently a free agent. He has not signed a contract with anybody else. Full disclosure, I'm recording this video on the night of Sunday, August 13th. It'll be up in about 12 hours from now, so hopefully Patty Kane does not sign a contract with whichever team because it'll make this video kind of pointless. But we have ourselves a free agent that has still not found himself a new NHL home. This was a big deal throughout the entire 22-23 season because Patrick Kane had 45 points in 54 Chicago Blackhawks games and 12 points in 19 games with the New York Rangers, cementing himself as legitimately one of the more talented players in the NHL. Now, sure, you could talk about defensive metrics, you can talk about all-around metrics, you can say that Patrick Kane is not this, he's not that, but I mean, the guy had 92 points last year in 21-22 and has always been a very consistent point producer. So he's a good player. He'll find himself a new NHL home. Will he be the top dog on whichever team it is that he signs with next? Who really knows? But for now, coming from Chicago and going over to New York, having the run that he did there, 7-game series against the Devils wherein they lost, Patty Kane still has more gas left in the tank, and hopefully an NHL team goes out there and gives him a deal soon. However, in this video, what I wanted to do was go over a few updates and talk about some of the teams that have been linked to Kane right now, and whether or not these updates actually mean anything. Starting out with this, we're going over on an article published on sportsnet.ca. This is from 3 days ago, published by the Associated Press, so there isn't even a writer here, it's just AP. And this article is titled 4 Storylines to Watch in the Final Weeks of the NHL's Offseason. It was literally from 3 days ago, 4 days ago now, but even still, its information is pretty timely. If you scroll down to the very bottom, because there are 4 things that are talked about in this article, by the way, link is in the description if you want to read it yourself, you can find the section written about Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane underwent resurfacing hip surgery on June 1st, an invasive operation with a recovery time of 4 to 6 months. While that rehab continues, rumors have swirled linking Kane to his hometown Buffalo Sabres, who are on the rise and could use a player with 3 Stanley Cup rings. The 34-year-old Kane is expected to garner significant interest around the league from teams hoping he can return to all-star form, and longtime Chicago teammate Jonathan Toews is also a free agent, though he could decide to retire at age 35 after missing significant time. Now, for Patrick Kane, the idea of him heading over to Buffalo is not a new one. He's from the area. We've been talking about Kane and the Sabres this entire past year, pretty much. Hey, if he becomes a free agent, could he sign with his hometown Sabres, play for that team that garners the likes of Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, Jeff Skinner? Superstar caliber players, right? Patrick Kane could add a really nice element of skill to that top 6. And if you wanted to go from a mentor perspective, hey, Casey Mittelstadt, he's a guy that we're going to talk about in a few videos from now, and that's a player that exhibits a really similar profile to what it is Patrick Kane does on the ice. The skills, the puck handling, having a guy like Mittelstadt learn from the best of the best on how to incorporate dangles into an effective NHL game, that could be huge. There could be so much learning opportunity here for the guys in Buffalo. As for Patrick Kane himself, well, there have already been rumors circulating the idea that says that he wants to go to a contender, he wants to be a part of a team that has a chance to win a cup, and I'm not going to go out there and directly say the Buffalo Sabres are a Stanley Cup caliber team at the moment, but if they did see significant improvements out of their young guys, you saw Owen Power take a big step, you saw Rasmus Dahlin take an even bigger step next year than he had this previous season, if you see Peyton Krebs go out there, play better, if you see Tuck and Skinner continue their dominance, if you see Tage Thompson maybe get 120 points, then hey, there isn't really telling where this Buffalo Sabres team is going to finish in the 23-24 standings. And if Patrick Kane is the extra little oomph that gets them into a wild card, then be my guest. It makes sense, right? As for Patrick Kane himself, obviously, you know, there might be smoke to the fire, there might not be, but we've been talking about this idea for the past year. And the article on Sportsnet is straight up saying, yeah, there are rumors that he's going to go back. Not back necessarily, it's not like he ever was playing there, but, you know, back home. That's what I mean. So Patrick Kane to Buffalo? If you're a Sabres fan, let me know, how does that make you feel? What do you think about the idea of Kane coming over so quickly? What are your thoughts on where he would fit into the lineup? And if he does play, let's say in the top 6, let's say on the top power play, how many points does Patrick Kane get? Does he improve his point production from last season? Because when Alex DeBrincat was in Chicago, Kane got 90-something points. When DeBrincat left, that's when Kane's production faltered a little bit, and still he was able to produce a lot, especially on a Chicago team that didn't really boast any other talent. I mean, having Connor Bedard there now is going to really help him out, isn't it? So for Patty Kane, if he's playing with a guy like Tage Thompson, how well do you think he's able to produce? Furthermore, we have ourselves some more conversations to go over when it comes to this guy and some updates as to where he could go. I wanted to direct your attention to this article on The Athletic published on August 10th as well, so the same day as the Sportsnet piece. It's written by Arthur Staple, and it goes over the Rangers mailbag, a Patrick Kane return, where Adam Fox ranks all time, and power play changes. Now, you know the protocol. We're not screenshotting this. It's linked in the description if you have The Athletic and you want to read it. But instead, we're going to be screenshotting this article on hockeypatrol.com, published on August 12th. Patrick Kane's future may already be decided, written by Travis Neal. Now, I get it, the title is a little bit sensationalized, but the reason I'm using this article is because they quote the Athletic piece, what exactly it is Arthur Staple writes. He says that the Rangers could be the team to sign with for Kane if the Rangers struggle. In a best-case scenario, Staple writes, the Rangers don't need Kane. They'll have adopted Laviolette's system quickly, the pieces added in free agency will fall into place, and all will be well by November. However, things don't usually work like that, and if Chris Drury decides, as he did at the deadline this past season, that the lineup is crying out for Kane, he'll move mountains to get it done, even though moving mountains in March didn't really work out. And so essentially what Staple is writing about in the Athletic piece is that the Patrick Kane sweepstakes for the Rangers might not be over. That if the Rangers end up struggling a little bit, if they find that they need more support, then you have yourselves Patty Kane, who is right there. Now, of course, this article isn't really bringing in consideration the idea that Patrick Kane might just sign with some other team at the start of the year, and he might not be available for the Rangers to sign in November or December, but I mean, the guy is coming off of surgery, so we'll see if he actually is available by then. But still, if you are a Rangers fan, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about the idea of Patrick Kane going to your team? How Patty Kane might not be done in the Big Apple? How the Rangers might have themselves a team that is not fully complete just yet? And if Patrick Kane is the guy to get that done. If you have Kane in your lineup in 23-24, where exactly does he play? Let's go over to the New York Rangers and look at their lines here on Daily Faceoff. See what the combinations look like. Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko, Panarin, Trocheck, Wheeler. Yeah, you signed Blake Wheeler. I just remembered that. The guy signed for a really cheap deal. Lafreniere, Cheadle, and Vesey, Goudreau, Bonino, and Pitlick. Okay. What if you had Kane and Lafreniere together? Try to get that first overall connection going. Do you want to give Kane sheltered minutes? When he played for y'all in the postseason last year, he had 6 points in 7 games. Definitely not bad. And in my opinion, Kane was one of the better players in the Rangers, along with Tarasenko, when they went up against the Devils and they inevitably lost. So do you want that pedigree still? Is that the guy to help you out? If he is, same questions as I asked of the Buffalo Crew. Where do you put him in the lineup? How many points does he get? Is he able to actually rebound and score more than he did in this most previous year? And I guess another question to both of y'all fan bases, what is the dollar amount here? Patrick Kane is 34 years old and he's turning 35 in November. So what exactly is the deal? Do you sign him to a 1-year, $6 million AAV contract, $5 million? Tarasenko got something similar done with the Sens. Do you go a similar route here with Kane? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you're a Rangers and or a Sabres fan. Or should I say and or? I don't really know if that exists, doesn't it? Yeah, anybody who's a fan of the Rangers and the Sabres at the same time. Last time, Kane was making $10.5 million per season. What does he make in his next contract? If it's with the Sabres or with the Rangers, what are your thoughts on those ideas? And if Patrick Kane actually does sign a contract with some other random team that's not New York or Buffalo before this video goes up, I apologize, I guess. I don't know, is it really appropriate to apologize for something you don't even know if you did wrong? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Patrick Kane. I hope you enjoyed this British 99, and bye.